Day 12 was an action-packed day. First of all, we had to catch a boat to go down the Mekong Delta. Specially bred turtles which you could buy and then release into freedom in the water, which is a nice thing to do. We then found a boat that was prepared to take us. It was quite hot, so it was a welcome relief to get on the boat and get off onto the river at last. The Delta is just full of activity.
It is the place trading things, local products to the others. And there are
lots of boats going up and down carrying goods and also passengers on boat rides. Our first trip was to the floating market, which used to be quite big but has slimmed down quite a lot with the opening of bridges, making it easier for people to sell things in the town. The people live on these for a month at a time and then go back to their houses that they own in the country. So it's fully intense, mostly in the morning before we'd actually got there. There were even boats coming alongside trying to sell us everything from coffee to Coke to sweets or anything really. You get the impression that they really are a race that will hustle to try and make a living any way they can. We then went on top of a cafe boat where they treated us to a demonstration of how you cut pineapple, and it was interesting that they live on takeaways while we're on the boat, but never mind. So they cut pineapple up in a special way for us, which we then enjoyed. And we then got back ashore, got on our bikes and started the bike ride. The bike ride was far better organised than yesterday. Everyone kept together and they made lots of stops, so they obviously listened to what I said. First stop was at a Khmer pagoda, which was very similar to the sort of thing you see in Thailand. Absolutely spectacular in its beauty and detail. All of a sudden, the cicadas, I think they are, in the trees suddenly started up, making noise into a crescendo, and it was funny how it just started, just like that. There were a couple of monks preparing something. They live on handouts, apparently. And then we recommenced the ride, going through the countryside and seeing orange groves and rice plantations. So we stopped lots of times and it was really lovely, though I only did the first half and left the others to do the second half while I stayed in a nice air-conditioned bus with another lady. After that we rejoined the boat and went on to the next section, going through lots of water hyacinths which float on the top of the water and are harvested to be cooked for pigs. So there's the happy crew. There are lots of fish farms all along the banks where they have quite a sophisticated system for catching and keeping them and then harvesting them. There is so much weed floating, you wonder that it doesn't get stuck in the impellers or the air intakes or water intakes or whatever on the boats, but they seem to manage fine. This is where they do the fish farming, a bit closer to the shore so you can see it. The next part of the adventure was to visit a local factory that makes a variety of different things, mainly from coconuts, but also makes popcorn.
Okay, everybody. Hola. Hola, señor.
Our guide showed us how they used to get the flesh out of the coconut. They use a machine now. And then the next stage of it is that the coconut is shredded and the interior is then boiled, as you can see, for a period of time before actually they use the husks to heat
Cooked there, so mixed
coconut
with
oil,
some different
and then it's
flavors.
made into sweets.
Like
We tried some of these, they were very yummy indeed.
bananas.
And these are sweets which are wrapped manually, first in edible rice paper and then in plastic, which we tried a few of those too. The next part of the demonstration was how you make popcorn. So first of all, this is where they heat up the oil and the sand, and they use the burning of coconut husks to power it. But the interesting thing is that once you've got the rice, you then put it into this incredibly hot sand, which has to be just the right temperature, and it's in sand so that it pops it all over, as you can see.
Rice and also the sand there. You see that? That's the way. Sand is gonna go down here again and remain the pop rice on there. One more time, they need to separate the pop rice and the husk, because before they put it in there, the husk is still there. So you see, the husk is going down and remain the rice, pop rice up there.
I just expected it to look more like Rice Krispies.
So what happens to the
This is where they slice it up and then they put it into plastic wrappers. This is where they make the moonshine, and in there are lots of different snakes. For some reason they think it adds to the flavour. All sorts of strange animals pickled in there. And then we were all treated to some moonshine to toast, but thankfully no snakes. Then we headed back onto the boat for a very short journey to our homestay. And this is what we were staying in. Quite hot and sticky by this time. Outside it's lovely, but again very, very hot. Some of us went for a swim in an adjoining pool. At 6 o'clock we had a lovely meal, and what was really impressive was the way that they had made little men out of some of the vegetables, supposedly rowing a boat, and also a fisherman fishing the fish that we ate.